Hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here we've got a two-game series between VG Gaming Potential and EHOME, and I'd like to lead off by talking a little bit about what happened yesterday. Yesterday, we had two matches, a doubleheader for the old boys, former members of different teams that are just legendary in their own sort. They are just mechanically skilled, they individually have high presence, but as a team, they got dunked on 4-0 that day. They didn't pick up a single win, and most of the games didn't even last like more than 25 minutes. Like, it was all-out aggression from two teams. First team was VG.P, second team was EHOME. So now we see these two teams, the teams that rolled over with that momentum and that tempo, the old boys. We're going to see them clash here as our first two-game series for today here in iLeague. So I'm excited about it. We're seeing some really good drafting coming out from both sides. But EHOME, their new meta strat of the Bounty Hunter, Winter, Wyvern, and Centaur won't be making it through to the battlefield. Instead, they're going to go back to their old Support Knight Stalker strats. So should be fun to see. Looking forward to seeing how VG.P fare up against EHOME. But going to be figuring that out very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in once again, guys. I'm myself and Blaze, broadcasting on behalf of Beyond the Summit, and I'm not going out alone. I am joined once again today by none other than PimpmuckL. How's it going, man?
Good day. Well, I just hope we get another of those crazy games. There is no Visage ban yet, there is no Drow ban. Oh, wait a second, there's a Visage ban. Of course, I am blind. So screw it, we got no laser beams, we got no crazy stuff happening, and also no laser show from the Queen of Pain, so it looks like we might be having a slower one, I guess. I don't know, I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, I'd say if you look at the bans we have, you can actually see a lot of what 6.8 Force metagame is going to devolve into. Like, Phase 1, Bounty Hunter, and Undying bans. That, honestly, it seems warranted at this point, and along with the Earthshaker and the Visage. Like, there's just so much that these heroes can bring so quickly that you just can't deal with it. I mean, the long-range initiation from the Earthshaker sets up kills. The Visage, we saw it yesterday. Pew pew, soul assumptions everywhere. And the Undying is just providing all that presence that just can't be managed. The Tombstone zombies and the Familiars in particular are just so tanky and so difficult to deal with, and yeah, it's got to be just banned for now at least. And we're going to see the Tide Gyrocopter from EHOME. So it seems like they're running a bit more of a reserve draft. If they have like ZYF go on the carry Gyrocopter, ROTK on the offlane Tide, they seem to have like a mid to late game, a team fight kind of lineup. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so far, let's be real here, Gyro. I saw EE just go complete crazy on the Gyro. I think this was ESL, where they actually qualified for. So yeah, I'm not sold on the meta yet. I mean, it's gonna evolve a lot in the next few weeks, and it's gonna evolve once again when we're heading towards TI. But so far, it looks kind of stable. What I do like about VG's draft so far, I mean VG.P, I guess, VG Potential, Spirit Breaker, Night Stalker, both are incredibly tanky on level 1. You don't really want to pick a fight against those guys, but then you have a Gyrocopter. Rocket Barrage on level 1, like 330 magic damage or something completely ridiculous, so I'm not even sold on the idea of the whole level 1, we just secure like maybe even 2 bounty runes or some stuff, because so far EHOME are just completely fine with the draft, and even a charging Spirit Breaker, well, you got a Lion Hex. The good news is the block pick against the Rubik, I would assume here. Rubik is one of the best guys up against Spirit Breaker, and so they still get a Witch Doctor, so I don't know, it looks like EHOME's super content actually with the draft here.
Yeah, no, they actually have just a great response to everything, it seems. As long as they get a little bit tanky after like the first 15 or 20 minutes, they should be golden right now. VG.P, they have to add more damage to the lineup. They've got tankiness, they've got initiation, they've got forms to disable. They really need to look into finding some way to have damage throughout the fight, because right now Gyrocopter gets a BKB and the game is won for him because he just cannot be killed by these three heroes. They're just not strong enough by themselves. So looking for the follow through, looking for maybe not necessarily the carry pick, they could reserve that for their last pick, but they were definitely looking for at least a damaging support, somebody who could really just drop that hammer down. Skywrath is still in the pool, pretty solid in this context. Ancient Apparition could be good, just kind of to negating the lifesteal potential from the Gyrocopter and dealing quite a bit of damage over time. Not exactly sure, but right now, I think VG.P are looking to run the Night Stalker Rubik duo that they have done in the past, where Dogfights picks up Night Stalker as a support. So we could still be seeing a mid hero, and hopefully one that does quite a bit of damage. The Lena's still in the pool. What do you think about that?
I'm I don't like the Lina as much anymore, just because of the range. I think the range was one of the better things about the Axe upgrade. Of course, well, pure damage is still nice, but I think you want to pick up the Axe just when you have a clear BKB carrier like the Gyro, when you want to bring him down ASAP, or someone like I mean, an anti-mage comes to mind, right? You want to pick up an Axe so he actually just dies. I don't know. I'm not sold on this whole idea. I still want to see a rather aggressive support for VG, because so far they've got like so much tankability, but do they have the damage? I don't see the damage just yet. Maybe they just gonna tank through it. Who knows? Centaur eggs. Here we go, boys. I mean, you got a death ward. Guess what? You just pop stampede. You run away. You don't take damage. Congratulations.
Yep, fighting into Ravage and Death Ward, generally a dangerous proposition, but Centaur thrives in those fights. As long as he's not the one to be caught in the middle of it in the first place, he can always time it well for his allies to survive all the better, and that mitigation is just insane. So we're actually going to be seeing Centaur taken to the safe lane, played by XLL. He did that twice yesterday, so expecting more of the same. And then we'll have to see what Lin can bring to that mid. I think they'll go for the Lina if they have that option. The Viper is banned out, but I mean, I don't know, just anything with really good damage that can fight continuously. Because the really great aspect of VG.P's lineup is, with the exception of the daytime-nighttime deal with the Night Stalker, all these heroes are able to fight at nearly full potential every minute. They have short cooldowns, they have quick involvement. As long as they have health and mana, they're good to go. But the Lina will be banned out by VG.P themselves. EHOME, looking for a mid that can kind of deal with all this aggression. I kind of like Puck for his ability to kind of coil in the Stampede and just lock everybody down, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, new Puck is crazy good. I still want to see some potential. I think the combos are what really is going to make the hero. Like, he's in some sort of a niche pig where he fits like crazy drafts, pretty similar to like an Ursa, but so far it's something people didn't really experiment with. I just want to see some more. Looks like you were right though, the Lina ban is coming out, and oh wow, this is here, that's what I'm talking about. Just get the damage and get the lash back. Excellent count against the TA, I like it. Still, now that EHOME actually pick up a TA, if you think about the ultimate's cooldown, if Lion reaches a level 11, his finger's gonna be on a quite short cooldown, right? Witch Doctor 80 seconds, Gyrocopter pretty much nothing. I mean, it's only pretty much the Titan with a long cooldown ultimate, so we might be actually having just a complete Slugfest once again. Let's see. I'm certainly looking forward, that's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of involvement from these two sides here. I really like the tempo of VG.P's draft, actually. I kind of feel like EHOME is the more reliable draft, but in 6.84, you really just have to focus on winning a couple of good fights, turn that into a couple of good towers, and once the lane's down, the game is won. So it really comes down to those critical clashes around like 15-20 minutes in, when the Centaur has his blink. If they can kind of steamroll with that, they're good to go. I wouldn't say that they're like able to hyper carry this game. I mean, they're not able to fight that strong 50 minutes in. I mean, they still have some aspects, like if you Octarine Core on the Leshrac and you have the Centaur Aghanims, as you were talking about. There are some merits to their mid to late game, but generally speaking, VG.P, they're going to be the ones that want to make things happen, and EHOME, they're the ones that are going to want to have to play defensive. But I'm really not entirely sold on this Templar Assassin pick. Penny Tang, he's been a great player these past few weeks. BOA has just done some amazing work on multiple finesse heroes, I would say. But in this case, picking up the Templar Assassin against the Leshrac, I feel like he's just going to get destroyed when it comes to trying to keep his refraction up.
Yeah, I certainly do agree. I mean, it's just so many instances. It's so hard to somehow work through this. And then there's also Rubik. He can steal Rocket Barrage. He can steal even something like a Cask is reasonable at this point. And I don't know. I don't want to give it to anyone so far. I mean, obviously, like VG Potential, they are not actually the favorites in the series at all. Still, I can see them really just having a good game here. And so far, it is looking like an aggro try. So maybe this is going to be what they do. I kind of like it, however, the line on level 1. Yes, Hex is 2.5 seconds duration. People were like when it got changed, everyone was like, damn, best level 1 spell in the game, yada yada yada, but it doesn't deal damage. So the Earthspec sometimes even gets picked up in favor of this, because you might get a, 2-man Earthspec, 80 damage as well, good stuff. And then I'm looking at the side of VG Potential, and their Trollin is actually pretty freaking scary if you get like a level or 2 on those guys, so this is risky as hell.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, honestly. Like, I would say maybe VG.P rotate around a little bit if they do get forced into that try, but no matter the case, like, they have some really strong heroes that can definitely take the fight to their opponents. We're going to be seeing a lot of clashes once everybody hits level 2. We'll see if there's at least a first blood pickup at level 1. Boots first on ZYF. He likes to go boots here just to maximize the potential of Rocket Barrage in the level 1 engagements. I mean, that is an incredible ability that could just do so much damage if you can keep up with your opponents, and right now he's one of 3 people wearing boots, so he definitely has that point of leverage. But we'll go through some quick introductions. I'll go for the lesser known guys here. VG.P, VG Gaming Potential, their secondary squad. We've got James, their captain, on the support Rubik. Mango ready to go. Boots first, Night Stalker for dogfights. Very familiar with this hero. He plays it all the livelong day. But we see Leshrac is going to be starting with that Null Talisman, covering up the top bounty rune here. That's your solo mid Lin. Yang is going to be running the Spirit Breaker offlane with a lot of regen, as you would expect. And that's going to leave Centaur Warrunner to be played by XLL down bottom.
Oh, I didn't get that. Anyway, we have the Templar Assassin just picking up the Bounty Rune. This is Penny Tang. I'm actually... Oh, it's Crit. This is your name. This is your name. I'm gonna call you like this.
Yeah, his other alias is like BOA or something, but I've never seen him use it. So it's like that's your name.
He didn't use it in ages. I don't even know. And like, what's it all about? Anyway, then we have the Aggro tribe. We have the Lion first. This is gonna be Larnham. Down to the south, we have ZYF, aka CU, aka I don't give any sorts of shits about any sorts of name. He is on the gyrocopter. And DDC is already getting caught out. Oh, maybe the cast. Cast on level 1 isn't bad. Now we got the Earthspike. Actually, look at the damage coming from ZYF. That's so much already.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, I think they might actually almost lose the Rubik here. The Earthspike's coming back up. They'll get ZYF in range for another Rocket Barrage, and that's first blood. You just can't fight in the jungle. Unfortunately, the lane is the only place for you. Because Paralyzing Cask, if you have 2 heroes trying to get into the fight, it's just going to bounce back and forth over and over. So they had to keep spread, but keeping spread keeps them isolated, and that's really easy pickings for ZYF. They have to fight on the lane. They cannot skirmish in the jungle against Witch Doctor and the Gyrocopter. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, and we didn't give enough credit to the return of the King. RTK is in the top lane with the Tidehunter, but he's going to be having a pretty good time against the Spirit Break. I mean, it's the melee versus melee lane, and guess what? Tidehunter just excels on those, and I'm just personally... Okay, so we have a very easy kill on the side of the EHOME tri-lane, so now I'm just looking at Lin. Maybe he can do something against this TA, but TA against Leshrac, it should be a good matchup for the Leshrac, but I'm just waiting to see some sort of smokes happening, because I don't know how much you want to keep the Centaur like supported up down bottom. He can maybe stoke experience on his own, and you might as well just get a quick and easy kill on mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. It might be a little transparent to make that kind of rotation this early on. I mean, they have the smoke, but the lane is so pushed out that it seems pretty evident when the supports are not sitting right next to the Centaur, essentially. I'm not so sure. I think it's like a good idea to try to make that rotation, because I think ideally their configuration involves a 3v1 with the Leshrac, but it doesn't seem like EHOME are going to give them that composition. The TA will be happy to stick to the mid lane, and obviously the amount of aggression being put out, they have to keep these people bottom. So unless you're willing to sacrifice the Centaur to, like, in a 1v1 matchup, you're going to be losing multiple lanes here, and this is just really unfortunate. I mean, the Tide isn't going to get huge. He's still going to win out against the Spirit Breaker. He's 12-5 versus Yang's 5-6-1. So I mean, double bash, helping him out a little bit up top. But overall, what you're going to be seeing mostly is just dominance in the mid lane, dominance on bottom, and the support's not really having any easy way of getting out of that situation.
Apparently there's someone in our Dota TV channel. I can just encourage everyone who is hearing Lex the Russian caster to maybe retoggle. This might be a Dota TV bug. Actually, I'm going to be checking this in a second. Mimo top lane? No, just a casual back and forth, no kill missed. Actually, Blaze, you know what? I'm just going to check Dota TV if this is on us, or if this is generally...
Yeah, go for it. So just examining this tri-lane right now, obviously ZYF is pulling ahead here, 11-0, suppressing the Centaur quite a bit. Centaur's entire point of being in the bottom lane is just farm as quickly as possible, Tranquil Boots, and then the Blink Dagger. and the fact that he's unable to really connect with the creep wave without risking his life is very problematic for him. But I will note that the DDC isn't putting on the full aggression. The Maledict is not being skilled up right now. It's just going to be the Voodoo Restoration, which is still perfectly fine for all 3 people to get healed up, but usually you find more kills with the Maledict.
Oh yeah, and Maledict is still okay. I do enjoy the point in Voodoo Restoration, just one of those at least. It scales and it's faster healing, yeah, but it's still fine for the time being. You just can't sustain pushes nicely long. Oh, Lionel picks up a cheeky rune there. That's nicely done. Dogfight's gonna run away, and now Penny Tang, well, no, ain't coming in. Dogfight's still fine. They gotta turn this around on land, and meanwhile, actually, top lane is going in. Nope, everyone is fine there. Back to the bottom lane, actually, and now here comes Landham. Oh, the Lightning Storm, a lot of damage. Landham is gonna be dead to rights, and the charge also coming through, but this is Spirit Breaker, who's just gonna be cancelling this one. 100 mana wasted. Not a big of a deal, actually, because he can't do that much in the top lane. Still, 10 CS, like you mentioned, that's fine. Important kill to give VG.P potential.
Looking at bottom, this could be good. An invisible Leshrac, they're baiting it in with the Centaur here. They should be able to get at least 1 kill. Lightning first, Split Earth next, and the Double Edge to follow. Great rotation from Lin with the Invis rune. And this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what they want to do with the Leshrac, is get Lin involved in any kind of confrontation where there's a numbers equalization or a numbers advantage. Yeah, and in this case, yeah, he'll pick up the level 6, grab his ultimate, chew on a mango. It looks like he's going to be ferrying that one up off the courier, and soon enough he's going to be able to just run people over with the Pulse Nova.
Yeah, that's so good now. It's just actually insane. Anyway, I like the Rubik there. He is seen though, so it's not like that's a real gank happening there in the middle lane. It's just like, hey, I'm a Rubik and I'm just sitting there, and if you want to go, you better think twice about it, mate. And they can still just try to put some pressure on the TA, and 28 for 4, that's a good CS chart. Still, surprisingly enough, there's actually the Safe and Titan are just crushing everyone in CS. That's such a nice thing to see. I miss the solo Tide. I do miss it dearly.
Yeah, he just doesn't get enough credit, unfortunately. But it looks like he might be building a mechanism off that, either that or a Force Staff pretty early on. We're going to be seeing a rotation here, smoked up. The 2 supports heading back to their lane of where they started, but we're still seeing they're going to be the stunts coming out. Cast connects, perfect bounces between Dogfights and XLL. They can't get out until the last second, but they do get the stun off, and that allows the Night Stalker to barely slip away. Now the Leshrac coming in, the Spirit Breaker charging as well. They should be able to get at least DDC. Oh man, DDC is definitely going down, but they want the Gyrocopter more. They're going to double edge him. Oh, knock him down with the Lightning Storm. They can't choose a target for this Nether Strike. Finally, he brings them down. Now the Ravage comes out. Lin on the run, hopping away like a little fishy, and the Magic One in Bottle keeps him up. He's going to survive. He's trying to turn it, but he doesn't have enough HP. It's a triple kill for Lin in the end, but he will fall, and EHOME make it 3-5 in the kill score.
Nightstalker actually TP'd out on like 15 HP or something when the TA Hasted was chasing him. He was like down there. He was tucked away in a corner just trying to TP away, and he was that was close stuff, I do say. Then again, that was actually a ton of time wasted, so just a bit of space created in this fight. And that's actually all they kind of needed there, so that was a great exchange.
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't even realize until the last second the Night Stalker lived. That's got to be amazing too, because she was right on top of him. Oh boy. So yeah, now they're like ahead. They just expended Ravage and pulled ahead in kills. They're about to have Stampede come out on the Centaur, which is when Leshrac really gets dangerous. Like when you combine Stampede and the Pulse Nova Lightning Storm, Lesh just runs you down. So all they have to do is get these power treads out on him, build up his HP, and he's going to be a very scary hero to fight against. Like Hex doesn't even lock him down anymore because of Stampede. Like, you have to commit Earth Spike. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to deal with this Leshrac until Lion hits 6. When Lion hits 6, at least you can kind of force him back by threatening with a lot of damage with that Figure of Death. But prior to that, Leshrac just keeps on trucking.
Oh, and we cannot forget the best item in the game right now, according to Load and the Alliance boys. That's what they told me, at least. Like, Glimmer Cape is right there to solve all your issues when you face up someone like a Lion, or even the Maledict. Think about this for a second. You have like this insane HP loss of the Maledict. The last tick is gonna be coming in. You're pretty much dying, you know, you see it, and then there comes the Glimmer Cape. You don't take any sort of damage, and you just feel good about life, actually. So yeah, I just can't wait until someone gets it, because I think Leshrac is gonna be just, well, Actually, I'm not sure if he's gonna like pick it up early on, because I still want to see the Bloodstone and maybe even an Octarine core. But yeah, he's still gonna be a prime target for this item. And meanwhile, top lane, there is a very crazy game.
Another Invis Rune, just
low,
easy connection onto ZYF. They're gonna bring him down with the Nether Strike. No, the Earth Spike finishes him off. RTK in, doesn't get the Anchor Smash, but they'll still get the kill. And Lin is now able to do very little here. Can't even break the tree line. He does get out. The Lightning Storm, the Pulse Nova. Is he gonna get a double kill at least? Oh, DDC living through the Voodoo Restoration. The bottle is insufficient for Lin to turn it around. Everybody's so low. Zeus ulti, please. But VG.P are unable to make that a successful exchange. And Lion with the amazing Earth Spike saving ZYF's life.
Yeah, he just cancelled the ultimate there, right, from the Spirit Breaker, so it was such a close call. I have a bit of lag, so I can't really get the animations flowing as nicely as I think your stream looks very good, actually, yeah. So that's, I mean, good news you're streaming, actually, but it's just the great firewall thing, so I might call things wrong, just so you know. Sure. Anyway, Rubik didn't steal anything so far. I'm surprised. He could just steal some nice traps, or even Refraction is great as well.
Yeah. Stealing from TA is pretty solid. Call Down is probably one of those big money spells. You're unlikely to get Death Ward because of the Voodoo Restoration toggle against pro players, but then there's also the Ravage, which of course is the ideal. If he can't get the Anchor Smash off in time, and he's not positioning perfectly to jump on the Rubik itself, then it's very likely you can get that spell steal off. And that's the one thing I wanted to talk about earlier, but obviously we had so much action. What do you think about this mechanism pickup? RTK does it a lot. The Arcane Mech, you can go into Guardian's Graves if you want, but the one thing I'm noting is he won't have the ability to jump that Rubik. Rubik's going to have Stampede and maybe a Blink Dagger, and RTK is not even going to have a Blink. So how do you actually prevent your Ravage from being stolen when you can't control your positioning all that well?
That is actually a good point. I guess you just rely on your whole team. Like a cast bouncing through, some line stuns, call onto zone people out. It is... I mean, it doesn't look like much control, but actually you do have quite some. Just because the Rubik is going to be rather squishy. Dear Spirit Breaker, you are in a hell of a lot of trouble. Yeah, there they go. This is going to be such an easy kill. ZYF, look at the damage coming out.
Oh, they have to Ravage for it, but they do get him.
That's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Space created, boys. Mid lane, they're going to go to Penny Tank. No, they can't find the lift. That's heartbreaking to see still.
So Tier 1's going to be pressured very heavily here. They're rotating the Leshrac up without the Ravage. Do you think, I guess they're going to be able to hold it? They got the double damage rune. I mean, the Stampede is always available from XLL. So they're creating space across the map, really, because without the Ravage, they're able to hold that Tier 1 top, which they otherwise wouldn't be able to. And then XLL is farming his Blink Dagger the entire time down bottom. So that bad start he had due to the aggressive tri-lane is kind of wiped as a clean slate, as you see him actually only a few hundred gold away.
Yeah, this is just going to keep rolling. This guy, I mean, as soon as you pick up your Tranquils, you can just farm jungle all day, every day. There is a smoke end happening, so that's nice. The TA is just scouting things out so far, and if you maybe get the Centaur here right before his blink, that's actually huge. But they're not getting the left side there. No, don't go forward. Turn left, boys. And this is... Oh, no, he's running into the...
Oh, he's Stampede!
Come on, run!
Just in time! Oh my gosh.
Did he fog the... Yeah, he fogged the gush. That's
yeah, he did. He absolutely did. It's just a wrong neck of the woods, but now they have the vision advantage at nighttime here. It's going to be dogfights that gets caught out. Nevertheless, nukes fly out. Night Stalker's dead. They'll steal the call down, though, and that's a really good steal with the Refraction already up on the Rubik. So we'll see them drop another call down against RTK. He has the mechanism. He'll try to get it off. He'll be fine. And it's going to be both Lin and dogfights to fall first. Now James on the run will go down. And we'll see Yang having to TP away from Penny Tang in the mid. So really, EHOME able to run them down despite the good disengage from the Centaur. The rest of it was a kind of a sloppy extraction, and they're going to be losing multiple heroes here.
Yeah, this is not what the doctor ordered. No, maybe the charge is going to be coming in. Charge on the backside, nicely done there. So you're going to stun a lot of people down there. Still, if EHOME is smart, they're just going to fall back for now. And that is exactly what happens. Wonderfully done. Roche is open, actually. You have the minus armor from the TA. You have a, you know, quite a bit of damage on the Gyrocopter. You might as well take it right now, but let's see if they decide to do so. I guess not. Just keep the pressure on. Get another tier 1. Yeah, why the hell not, actually? Just go. Get more ahead. When you're ahead, get more ahead. That is pretty much relevant right now in Dota as well.
But we're going to see XLL pick up his Blink Dagger now with this last hit, and that actually enables them to go to fight. I mean, they have the nighttime factor, they have the Blink on the Centaur, they have the Stampede. The one thing they have to be worried about is RTK's Ravage, but if they can mitigate the damage that that deals, then I think that VG.P actually are able to fight despite their net worth disadvantage. So we'll test that theory here. RTK looking for the flank. If you get the surprise attack and kill one, there's no chance in hell, and they're going to get James immediately. The Stampede. No, Earthspike barely connects on him, and he will be going down. So 5v4, a pretty easy fight to take, but it looks like they can't pursue much further. There's an Invis rune up at the last track, a very quick Night Stalker on the high ground, and they'll have to just leave it at 1.
Dear God, this could have been so much worse. Imagine, imagine this Stampede not forcing out so many stuff from EHOME. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, wonderful. So now we're in a game. We're only looking at a 7.5k goal lead for EHOME. 14 minutes in. Blaze, I don't know about you, but I have some déjà vus from the game yesterday.
Just racking up the kills, man. Just it gets wild pretty quickly, I think. We're actually seeing the car. Are you serious? This is amazing. I want to pause the game and just talk about this alone. This freaking Thunderhide has been bothering me for about 5 minutes. It sat here with 50 HP, sitting here
in the corner.
And no, it's not even like in its own spot. It's like been chilling out over here because
it bugged. See it, right?
It's frenzy bugged out. It's frenzy. It was sitting over here and it's frenzy bugged out, so it just sat here and was just chilling. At 50 HP, nobody was killing it. This camp wasn't spawning. And then it gets its vengeance that they left him wounded and blood spilling everywhere. They says, well, screw you guys, I'm gonna kill your courier. And that's exactly what happens to the Dire. They have their courier fly over, the Thunderhide gets his revenge. Don't leave agents like that, guys. It's not cool.
Alright, Blaze, I have to rejoin once again. Apparently Dota TV can't hear me. Could you mention to people that they might retoggle after I joined? Dota TV is so awful. Dear God, I could go all day about this. Sorry, fix the game.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir on that one, but all the same, all the same. So guys, PimpmuckL is reconnecting to the game here. If you do not hear him within the next 60 seconds, then go ahead and switch out of your current audio channel and switch back over to us, and you should be able to hear him once again. Just some technical issues there, but I think we'll be doing all right. We'll see pressure up on the top lane here. The tier 2 dropping down to nearly half HP, but TBs come in, keep it fine, and yeah, they're going to try to take their jungle back a little bit here. Spirit Breaker just charging out, so it looks like they don't want to take a fight until the natural nighttime occurs, and that is going to set the timer at 20 minutes for VG.P's attempted comeback.
Yeah, this is... I mean, last hit-wise, it doesn't even look bad. If I'm looking at the net worth, yeah, it's not great, but this is nothing what a nice fight on the side of VG can't really fix. Oh, please, dear God, no. It's still, like, they have tier 2s, that's fine. They still have a tier 1 in top lane. If you can mount a nice defense, and if you can play around the Ravage, like you mentioned, you have these low cooldown ultimates. Can you use them? It's gonna be hard. And also, we are also, well, I am at least, pretty much going over the fact that they have a Night Stalker. So if they can get some farm up on the Night Stalker, if they can get an Accept up, it's one of those things, it doesn't look flashy, but it's so incredibly hard to play up against an Axe Night Stalker. You are always at a disadvantage in those team fights. You see nothing. It's so hard to execute, and the problem is also, without a dedicated observer, I mean, if you're a caster, it's really hard to toggle the vision of the teams. But if you toggle the vision, I mean, you're also a dedicated observer, Blaze. You know what I'm talking about. If you toggle the vision against the Night Stalker, you see that the one team trying to like somehow force those engagements can't see anything. That's so incredible, and most people don't actually like realize this because it doesn't get shown on screen. But it's actually insane, and this is, well, let's see if this comes into play, because of course the Night Stalker kind of needs an Acceptor, and that's still tons of farm off.
Yeah, that's at least a couple good team fights off. They definitely need to really just pick their battles very carefully. They're up against a Blink Tide now, a very different situation to fight into, but we'll see at least a tier 1 tower fall pretty easily. They've got the free glyph, they'll use it, but I still think this tier 1 tower is going to go without a deny. They've already used a lot of TPs to get to the top tier 2, so they'll just trade this tier 1 for tier 1, or at least I thought, but Radiant are the ones to back down for a moment here. They really aren't confident in fighting until nighttime, it seems, because they're just backing off and waiting for the enemy to initiate upon them. Looks like Gyrocopter will make his way down bottom. Yeah, they're playing scared. they're getting intimidated, and this is a very bad mentality to have at this stage of the game. You have to have a certain level of aggression maintained throughout the game if you have a chance of bringing this one back. And VG.P, they're playing so scared, they're turtling so much, and it's just going to cost them pickoffs, and EHOME are going to continue to profit from that.
Oh, they only see 2 people on the map right now, that's why they backed off. I was wondering. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. So, are we gonna see the tier 2 fall, or where is VG mounting the defense? Are they gonna trade? I think this is a good choice. Yeah, definitely. You're behind, you want to trade towers, that's pretty well. TPs are not looking great actually on the side of EHOME, they actually don't have TPs.
Yeah, they used them all to get out to the top lane really abruptly, and now like they're kind of in a weird spot. They should be able to finish the tier 2 at least, but yeah, they're not able to really respond the way they'd like to. They still have the Aegis on Penny Tang, and so yeah, we'll just see VG.P avoiding fights again until about that 20-minute mark, when both the Aegis is down and the nighttime is up. In the meantime, XLL, he's going to be looking for an Ogre Club and 1,000 gold. Could be BKB, could be Ags. I would say both have their merits depending on how good Lanham is on that Lion. Because obviously, if you blink in and you try to Hoof Stomp and then Stampede, but Lanham's quick trigger Hex is going to be coming out, you probably need to BKB for that initiation. But at the same time, that Ags Centaur is so good. That Stampede is very powerful, and you want to get that online too. So we'll see what they can work towards, but at least for now, they still are not getting this Thunderhide. Oh my gosh, RTK, please, please.
Yo, someone has to be reported from this game. Where's the unvouch? Hello. Anyway, I have a question for you. TI just picked up her blink. Do you think we're gonna see a Desolator, the new improved cheap as hell Desolator value pickup?
I could definitely see it. I mean, really, her role in this game is... Okay, now they found it, finally.
Wow, we did it, boys. We did it. Take a Reddit thread.
Jeez. Oh, that was grating on me all game. But, yeah, I would say that her main role here is to find quick bursts on the supports and to enhance the damage of the gyrocopter, and the Desolator enables her to do both of those things. Like the Meld plus Dezo makes Flat Cannon so powerful as far as damage output, and then of course you want to bring down like the Rubik or the Night Stalker pretty quickly too. Even the Night Stalker, like he's got 11 armor, so that feels pretty good, but you could put a Desolator on top of that and it just melts quickly. So I would definitely say that that's probably the next point of progression, unless she feels she needs the defensive attributes. So there are some players that actually can consider a Manta style a reliable way to avoid Centaur Stomp. Oh, yep, just going to Stampede away from that blink initiation, and the Armadillo tumbles behind him. But yeah, there are some players that actually can reliably Manta dodge every Hoof Stomp that's against them. So like they see a blink Centaur jumping on top of them, they Manta in that invulnerability frame. They will be avoiding that stun. Not sure if Penny Tang's up for the challenge because he's blinking into trees right now, just trying to get to the secret shop.
It is incredibly risky. I mean, if you're... What is it? Hold on. We're on 7 point... Wait a second. This stagnated. So this is actually favoring the side of VG right now, just because they kept it at a level where it's now stagnating. So in a relative term, it's actually shrinking. Anyway, Lin is very much on his own. Is he gonna be dead? No, he isn't. He's gonna just RSVP with Yang. I'm not sure if those guys are really at a nice spot, actually, Blaze. What is happening with Dogfight as well? Everyone is just somewhere on the map, and it makes me very nervous.
Yeah, definitely. They're just trying to kind of spread the map out, cut creep waves, make sure that they can put out pressure elsewhere, try to buy time for this TP for Leshrac, for example. And, yeah, it should be able to get out here with these last couple of seconds. So... yeah, it's just in this position, it's forcing EHOME to move around the map in ways they wouldn't want to, and capitalizing on the fact that they don't really just have that much global presence. Like, there are no global heroes in this game. There's Global Stampede, but that's about it, and it makes it so that EHOME have to physically go to certain locations to counteract certain pushing threats and stuff, like you see from Yang here, but he's going to be TPing out. It's just putting that positioning advantage over the map, forcing EHOME to move, and it's what's stagnated this game to the point that you're talking about, where it's not even been a 2,000 gold lead advantage further for EHOME in the past several minutes. So I like this overall play of just kind of drawing the map out, and we're going to be seeing Yules come out for the Leshrac pretty soon. A really good build in my mind. Like, I saw this point booster and the Seven Wizardry, I'm like, oh man, he might be rushing Ags. Ags isn't bad on the hero, but you need more to survive in the fights, but if you get the Ghost Scepter and the Yules, like, there's really nothing that can bring you down. You have to be worried about the Finger of Death, but the Gyrocopter and the TA just can't keep damage on you. And look, more 2 TPs drawn up top. It's just, all they have to do is just keep on ratting it out, pushing out lanes, backing off. And the cool thing about this is they don't have to worry about the Blink Hex from Lion as long as they have the Stampede available. So they can keep making plays like this without risking their lives against Lanham, who doesn't even have a Blink yet.
Also, I hate to say this, but the item choices of EHOME are very interesting to me, because as UAF, he picks up a BKB, so this is an item you want to pick up, and you want to fight with it. You want to go just smash the opponent's face, and now he is not using it. He's got a 10-second BKB, that's great, because you're not using charges, so it could be worse if you're getting ganked or some stuff. But he's not really, you know, getting the most out of the buck, and this is also one of the reasons why this gold lead doesn't go full crazy just yet. It's still huge, right? I mean, 27k versus 37k. That's actually like a lot of gold to come back from. But still, I wonder what's happening, because yeah, exactly. Now they're gonna push. Wonderful. This is what I wanted to see with the BKB, and the Demon Edge picked up as well. So now he actually has way more. He's got 200 damage, mind you.
Yeah, I think the Demon Edge actually makes a big difference here. But look at mid lane and bottom lane. Like, Yang's just like, yep, okay, well, I'll push this one. Lennon's like, okay, I'll take care of this. And in the end, there's no way they can go anywhere near high ground. They will push out the tier 2. They'll get something. EHOME will still have to back off. We'll still be losing the overall map control just based on this aspect, where the creep waves individually are pushing down towers. The bottom tier 2s drops down to maybe like 300 HP, and yeah, that's just, it's weird for EHOME in this position because they're all over the place, but they will be able to control the pit, I think. That's going to be an important thing, is if they just get the Aegis once again, then they can still drag the map out. Like, overall, I like the idea of VG.P to try to bring this back, is to limit EHOME's potential to snowball forward. But while they're dragging this map out, the big problem they're going to be facing is they strategically just don't have a late game. Like, they can drag the map out all they want, but that only puts them into a position where they can start taking fights at 28 minutes to, let's say, 32. Like, in that time frame, they can do a lot. But right now, if they don't make this Roche play work, and I don't think it will, it's just too slow, then they're just in an awkward spot. We'll look for vengeance, we'll look for the darkness, and yeah, I think Podonko's going to pop darkness here, and that'd be great. Ravage coming in, we're going to see the steal of the Rocket Barrage, and that's not going to do enough here. They jump in with 2. They immediately lose the Night Stalker and the Spirit Breaker. Lin will be able to TP away, but it's just a convincing fight from EHOME. They pop the BKB on the Gyrocopter. They get the Ravage out. Nothing good stolen. And that's the fight. I mean, that's just a situation where you really can't go right into EHOME's lineup. They just have some really good, a reliable team fight. They're not pressured at all, not even to pop a mechanism. And it just goes to show that they can walk right up to your base now when you have those people dead that Stampede on cooldown.
Yeah, now the level difference actually comes into play. Even though in a somewhat okay way, that VG are going to be respawning rather quickly, so it is still a rather risky base push, but I do believe they've got everything to take down the tier 3, or at least force quite a bit of commitment. Nice dodge there, wonderfully done. And of course, well, if you have Refraction, you're not getting your blink disabled. Wonderful.
Yep, good stuff. So, I mean, they're not going to be able to do much more than force the glyph, but that's a glyph that won't refresh, so that's going to be 5 minutes of them just not able to keep their buildings secure. They're going to lose this side of the map quite a bit, and yeah, I feel that was a difficult fight to take. If they got in there right before Roche fell, then sure, that's really good. They have an opportunity to catch them while they're trying to fight 2 different battles, fight Roshan, fight against the Radiant. But after that fell, they just stood there and they're like, well, what do we do now? Do we actually want to engage on this? And they thought they might be able to find an opening, but obviously RTK was ready for them, so didn't work out. Now we're going to be seeing just kind of movement across the map. Gem of True Sight as well as Guardian Greaves on the Tide. So he's going to be able to just be this big, impressive force for teamfight presence in terms of sustain with that new item, as well as, of course, the gem for map control. Like, EHOME are just going to be able to kind of revolve around the Tide, and as long as he doesn't go by himself and get picked off, EHOME could just kind of move as a group of 3 or 4 heroes constantly and always have that advantage.
Speaking of Guardian Greaves, I still want to see the mobile gas station Tinker support. Just farm up some Guardian Greaves, because you can actually re-arm them, it's funny enough. Anyway, yeah, Tide I'm not sure if you really want to get these guarding grease up as fast as you know, got them, because it is still some sort of investment where you don't really need the item slot and you could just buy something else. But still, it's really nice if you get low HP. And with a lineup of VG, there is a Pulse Nova and you can regen against it to some sort of extent. Yeah, I can see it working. Anyway, I still want to see Lin just get some items. He doesn't really has progression after his Yules, and he's trying to build it since, I mean, it was like, what, a 24-minute Yules or something? That's not quite gonna cut it, not against EHOME, not if your TA has 14k net worth soon to be. That is just a tad too much. And where is... Oh, she went BKB, okay, so that's... Okay, well, that's the safe choice, I guess. I mean, they wanted to break base anyway with the BKB on the Gyrocopter, so it makes sense to go BKB on both cores.
Yeah, and now we're getting to a point where essentially EHOME are just looking at it and saying, okay, well, we've got 2 BKBs up, we've got our Ravage, the Guardian Scree is online. Pretty much any time they see a hero that's not in a perfect defensive position, they're going to jump on him, at least force the Stampede, if not, just go right to the high ground. So, I mean, obviously, we're looking at the Aegis timer. That's ticking down pretty quickly here. If the trap wasn't in the way, I could see the clock better, but it is going to be down within 50 seconds. So they probably are just going to control the Radiant jungle. I don't think they push high ground with those last 45 seconds. And I think, yeah, they're just happy to be ready for a fight if it's needed. Because although, yeah, they haven't only been taking like 1 or 2 fights with the BKB, as you were talking about, it's a good tool for them to like get secure pushes and such. It's going to be them to take the high ground now, and we're going to see an attempt for the Centaur. He's going to make a really big play here. Like, the TA is keeping her refraction up. The Gyrocopter, he just picked up MKB. We've got long duration BKBs. It's got to be all on the initiation of VG.P to catch out EHOME.
I'm not seeing any sorts of animation. I think you just got to take a lot of stuff away. Oh, blink away right when the Stomp was sitting there. It was nice, quick reaction. So, although, I mean, Centaur, blink in and then Stomp, you can shift Q this quite nicely, but still, it is gonna be rather easy to dodge. And now EM falls back. They are just content with getting a lot of damage on these tier 3s. So, hold on for a second. The Aegis is gonna be expiring in about 20 seconds, I imagine. I do have a fear, Blaze, that we're just gonna wait for the next Roche and get some Aegis in and then break base.
Yeah, well, if EHOME do that, they've essentially won the game just based on that. If they get Aegis and Cheese with the 3rd Roche cycle and they're at this point strategically with this draft, I can't see them losing the game without some intense throws. Like, they're in such a good position here. They've got so much power in this tide. They've obviously shown what they can do with the Gyrocopter and the TA, and they're only getting stronger. I feel like VG.P are starting to waver. Like, yeah, you could say a 7,500 gold disadvantage, that's manageable. They can bring that back. They just need the right combo of spells. But now their spells are useless against 9 and 10 second BKBs. The damage is extremely real from the TA as well as the Gyrocopter. And I'm just not seeing it. Like, this is getting to a point of desperation for VG.P, and we're going to have to see some desperate measures coming out from them in order to try to bring it back.
I still do see a constellation how they can turn this around. Just because those BKBs, when they're actually on some sort of very low duration, the burst damage coming out from someone like a Shrek, in conjunction with the Centaur eggs, who can really just make a lot of these ultimates on the side of EHOME just nothing. If this Stampede works out and EHOME isn't really careful with blowing ultimates too early, I can see VG just live through it. But I'm obviously, I mean, this is still like a great easy game for EHOME if they play it right. But still, as I said, I do see some sort of potential happening. Let's see if EHOME actually closes this out nicely, because they usually do, but you never know. You just never know in Dota.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, right now it comes down to really spell usage. If they do wait for the next Roche, at the very least, Leshrac will have his Soul Booster item, whether that be the Bloodstone or the Octarine, both being pretty powerful in this situation, but it's got to be about waiting out those BKBs. As soon as you see 2 BKBs come out, you use the Stampede and run. That's my mindset there, is you just have to waste those BKBs and wait them out. And in doing so, you essentially win the fight if you survive with more than... let's say if you get away with 3 heroes and you don't lose your base immediately thereafter, then I would say forcing 2 BKBs and losing 2 heroes is a fine trade. Just trying to wear that down, trying to get into a position where you can actually do something with your spells. Because if you look at VG.P's spells, like Crippling Fear and all the damage from the Leshrac, all these stuns, like, they have so much potential on their side. But really, the Spearbreaker is the only one that fights well into BKB, and he's not I mean, he's got an okay farm, but it's definitely not sufficient to control more than one hero.
Yeah, well, also, just to point it out, TA Desolator. Oh yeah, that's what the doctor ordered. No, I'm just. So now RTK, what do you see Refresher? I personally would love to see a Necrobook, just because I think the item is completely crazy right now. You know,
I don't know if I've ever seen Tide build Necro, but it definitely makes sense just as far as the siege aspect of their current game position.
Yeah, well, I mean, concerning there might be an egg Stampede coming in very soon, and this is one of those things where I would say this is a win condition for VG. Of course, Refresher does make a ton of sense just to keep everyone in place. You don't need to blow anything else in the time where you just control them and the Stampede is active. But still, yeah, I think Book is fine. I saw Korok build Dagon into Necrobook, so I wouldn't be surprised at all. And there we see a casual, let's run away, boys, over Stampede, and everyone is fine, everyone is out. I think this is still okay.
Yeah,
oh, the Gold Grove though, ouch.
Yeah, no, it's just been continuously pushing in favor of EHOME, and they have the heroes to really make the most of it. We're seeing Mud Golems get slain, we're seeing maps get farmed, and this is just taken, I mean, if you just look at last hits, I mean, 254 on the TA. She's been able to farm so much this game. Even though her KDA is pretty weak at 1-0 and 4, it's still fine. And she's been able to just do so much in terms of getting tower last hits, getting creeps down, and they're just doing things more efficiently. And we're going to see a quick respawn on Roche, too. I mean, this is not a bad timer at all. 44 seconds in counting, and that is going to be them to look to go Roche on. So
easy. Also, oh sorry, go ahead. Just finish your point.
I was just going to talk about the Smoke of Deceit timing. We are going to be seeing that come out at just the right time for VG.P to try to contest it, assuming that EHOME don't all have 5 in the pit the second Roche spawns.
Okay, so I have a big question for chat. Dear chat, what do you think is the single biggest? Oh wait a second, young BKB TP. Wow, he doesn't play around. All right, so what is the single biggest reason why EHOME have this insane gold lead right now? And I give you a hint. It involves an, what is it called? I think an armadillo? No, a thunderhide. It does involve a thunderhide. I mean, look at this. They cleared the thunderhide right at like 20 minutes, and then suddenly the gold just went downhill. I'm just saying. I'm not making conclusions.
Accessing your ancients on 2 heroes that AoE farm does seem like a pretty good way of enhancing your potential there, I would say. 3 heroes. You've got Anchor Smash, you've got Side Blades, and you've got Flat Cannon. These 3 heroes melts ancient creeps. If they're 10 stacked, it doesn't matter. You can kill them all. But
and it's 200 gold per minute going your way.
Yeah, it is. It's silly,
but it's a big deal. This Thunderhide was keeping VG in the game, as crazy as it sounds.
Traitor Thunderhide.
Yeah, what a guy. Spawning on the wrong side of the map. He's taking vengeance. Lin still trying to do his split push things. He's got his Bloodstone. He's silently just racking up the gold. Still, his net worth looks better compared to like the whole first 30 minutes. But he only just overtook the Tide, and that's a Tide Hunter for you. So, also we are apparently not blessed with a Necrobook. Tide doesn't want to read. Tide just wants to go and get some Ravages off. Well, that's fair, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's still really good for him to be able to build himself up for that. I don't even know if the game's going to last that long. Obviously, the Aegis and the Chi are on the field. You're going to see them try to use them, and VG.P, they've got to pull out all the stops here with the next big fight. So, if EHOME take a rough engagement, but they're still able to live on the Tide, they have kind of their backup plan. But as for right now, their current game plan doesn't involve the Refresher at all. It just involves marching right up to the high ground on the top tier 3.
Yeah, this is gonna be like very hard to actually deal with. Oh boy. Is he... Wait, where is the butterfly? There it is. Alright, we got it. Nice. Now it's gonna be a bit harder. Actually, they have nothing to deal with it, right? Except magical damage, and then you have your like 9-second BKB still.
Yeah, 9 second on Gyrocopter, 10 second on the TA. She's got Refraction, he's got Butterfly. Killing people is hard, but we do see a jump in. Oh, Centaur will be popping the Stampede pretty early here, going for the BKB double edge, but they can't bring RTK down. They'll force him back, but now Yang's in a weird spot. We're seeing people melt very quickly with Penny Tang. Big right click. Lin will be able to sell fuels. He has the Ghost Scepter too, but the Ravage locks him down. They'll kill off James. Quick and easy kills coming out. Nobody lost on the side of EHOME still. Going to be nearly full HP Templar Assassin with the Aegis ready to go for round 2, but that round isn't coming quickly enough. The Leshrac respawn time, though reduced, is still a dozen seconds away, and that is going to be them pushing down onto the bottom lane. This is the last chance for VG.P. XLL bought back for this. BKB is on cooldown for the Spirit Breaker, but they have no Ravage to fight against, so they'll try for it. TA getting caught out here. Nice double stomp from XLL, comboing it up. Lin's doing what he can, but there's the call down. There's the damage from ZYF. Penny Tang with the right clicks. Oh, they're forcing them back into the well. They're just sending them packing, and now it's actually going to be good. Lightning Storm, good charge, good stomp in from XLL, but can they do anything with it? Good control, but where's the damage? Yang dies on the front line, XLL dies on the back, and now RTK is right back in the thick of things. Great cast, super cast, bouncing back and forth, and that is going to be the game-ending fight for EHOME.
Some fantasy GG timing, but still, in the end, this is just EHOME showing his boss in this. It's a 2-game series, right? Or is it a best of 3?
It is 2 games.
Okay, yeah, because the indicator on the top says 3 games, but of course we do have the 2-game series because Valve doesn't implement it yet. Anyway, what a game! I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I would have definitely given the early game harder for the side of VG because they somehow just fell completely apart. And you know why? Because the freaking gyrocopter is such a beast in those tri-lanes. You just go aggro try all day, every day with the gyro. It feels like, honestly, this Dota, it feels so much like the Dota we had like a year and a half ago, if I'm not completely off. Right after TI2, this is where I believe the gyro was so crazy and often picked up, but I'm not entirely sure if this is alright. I have to actually look it up so I don't do stupid shit here.
But still, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. The gyrocopter is just incredible in this metagame. Counters out here, as we talked about in the banning phase, the Visage and the Undying. He's really strong in try versus try and just putting out a lot of damage in general, but we may still see others look to counter him. He is kind of weak to single target physical damage output, so here's like Lifesteal and Weaver can still ride him pretty well because they scale better in terms of direct confrontation, where Gyrocopter wants to fight the entire team, not just that carry. So you get Slark as an anti-carry, you get the Lifestealer or anybody that goes Abyssal Blade, and you just kind of jump on him, and maybe we see a little bit of a different story. But EHOME didn't, or VG.P didn't draft that. They drafted the push lineup that ended up failing. Leshak played pretty well. Lin went 5-4, but that is going to be a Game 1 victory for EHOME. So we're going to be looking at Game 2, and we'll see what VG.P bring to the table, but it's got to be something a little bit different than this. Anyways, thanks for tuning in once again to Beyond the Summit. This is the iLeague Chinese Qualifiers, and I myself am Blaze. Follow me at BlazeCasting on Twitter, and of course my wonderful co-caster at PimpmuckL. Anyways, that's on your screen. We'll go to the next game and see you guys in just a few minutes.